Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Fuel for Thought. Wow, every race just seems to be like a banger.
Yeah.
Compared to the last few seasons, this is great. It's such a good era of Formula One to be a fan.
Yeah,
of.
I agree. If someone had this is like the perfect, if someone had written how F1 could go this season, this is like their ideal. Charles Leclerc
Well,
winning.
if you're not a Red Bull fan, but
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
If you're,
so-
Charles Leclerc winning in Monaco
yes,
and Monza.
yes,
His home race and Ferrari's home race.
it's scripted.
Yeah, it
Almost.
literally is.
Yeah, wow, I did not expect that at all.
Well, I would like to say I didn't, but obviously I predicted it, so
I feel like you also kind of didn't expect it.
no,
though.
I didn't. And I feel like no one expected it until about 20 laps to go. No one was really talking about it.
Yeah, it was another one of those Miami situations where you kind of just paid attention and you were like, hang on a minute, Lando can win this in
Yeah.
Miami. Or here,
Yeah.
hang on a minute, Leclerc can win this.
Yeah.
11 seconds.
Everyone was like, are they going to go for a one stop?
Yeah.
Are they going to do it? Well, at the beginning, Pirelli said that it was probably going to be a one stop. And then everyone was like, nah, I can't do a one stop. Tyres are graining too much. Has
Yeah.
to be a two stop. But Ferrari, they were like, nah, we're going to do it.
Do you know, yeah, this is two, I suppose, contrasting things. It's Ferrari, for once, calling the perfect strategy. Mm-hmm. Calling a great strategy instead of an average or more often than not poor strategy. And McLaren once again throwing away a victory.
Literally.
With bad strategy.
Throwing that away. A 1-2 start, you'd expect.
Was the fastest car.
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't expect them to not win either car, but no. Mm-hmm. Them letting a Ferrari win, basically, that shouldn't have happened.
Pretty much, yeah.
Shouldn't have happened, especially in Monza. Especially because McLaren have shown that they're one of the best cars for for not graining their tyres as much as other cars. So they should have been good around this track
Yeah.
with the tyre aspect, but
We can obviously sit here at home and say they should have done a one-stop, but they are sat there with thousands of simulations, all the data in front of them, and they couldn't figure it out.
yeah.
And so it's like, I don't understand how they threw that away. Honestly.
I don't either. Surely at that point, Oscar and Lando, I suppose, had nothing to lose to try the one stop.
No, well, it's more difficult when you're leading from the front
Yeah.
because you have to be conservative with your strategy. You can't take so many risks. But I think that is McLaren's downfall.
Yeah.
Because they haven't been used to it for a long time. It looks like from the outside perspective that they can't quite get it right when they are in this position yet.
Yeah.
So
I'm not as a McLaren fan, I'm not entirely happy with what's been happening recently.
yeah, should we talk about the start?
Okay, let's talk about it. So finally, Lando gets away, stays in front.
Yeah, I thought he had a good start.
Really good start compared to obviously his other starts in pole position. And then
It was
second
a bit close between Oscar and George, wasn't it?
Yes.
And I thought that initially George got squeezed and it was a bit naughty.
Yeah.
But actually, I think it just caught him off guard.
Yeah, I think it was a misjudgment from George there.
Yeah.
And luckily he got off in the escape
Yeah,
road.
he lost a lot of places.
Yeah. And he lost his front wing, basically. So,
I looked at the replay a couple of times and tried to figure out where he lost his front wing. I couldn't figure out what he hit and what part of the track he hit.
yeah, I don't know, actually.
And was it, did he hit clip Perez at some point? Because when he was going through it could have been when he was going through the runoff, but his end plate was still intact then and wasn't flapping around.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
From what I could tell.
I thought it was broken when he was going through the runoff.
Yeah. No, maybe it was, but from what I could tell, it wasn't.
I didn't think there was any contact. I thought he just broke and went into the gravel and then ended up going in the runoff. But
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. I couldn't figure it out when I was sort of watching replays live.
Yeah.
But yeah. bit of a mistake from him there.
Yeah, went down to P7.
Yeah, finished behind Hamilton in the end, didn't he?
Yeah, he came P7.
Ahead of Perez though.
Yep.
Which what does that say about Perez?
Yeah, they were fighting most of the race, but George took him in the end.
Yeah.
Perez was moaning on the radio a lot about George though.
Yeah, they all do it though, don't they?
Yeah.
Got to get that advantage, but it's just silly, isn't it? It's like diving in football.
Yeah, true.
Shut up the race, man.
Yeah. They have to do it, don't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, and then obviously in the start as well, Oscar. Beautiful overtake from Oscar, I must say.
Oh, I thought it was a great overtake. Now it's been controversial.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't on his teammate, and they probably. No, they definitely should have held position because it cost them badly.
Yeah. From my perspective, obviously it was a great overtake, but on your teammate, don't think you should have done it. I think McLaren should be clear with them. Whoever gets in front after the start of the race, hold position until you get an opportunity to cleanly overtake. That could have, one, gone really badly, and two, like it could have, I don't know.
Technically, it was clean. They didn't.
It was clean, but that's because I think I'm almost certain that if that was another team, Lando wouldn't have braked so early, and it would have either caused the other car to go off in the runoff area, and then cut the corner, and then they would have had to give the place back, or would have caused like a bump or two.
This way it's clean racing, so...
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like Lando didn't drive that corner the way that he would have normally done because it was his teammate.
Obviously, he's being more careful, but for me, I thought it was a great overtake, and I enjoyed it. And it's nice to see both McLaren drivers being as competitive as each other, and they're not being a clear number one all the time. Obviously, I think all in all, Lando has been better this season and quicker, race to race. But it's nice when Oscar steps up his level and brings it to him. Like, don't let him relax. They got to push each other. And the other thing is, Lando's not far enough ahead of Oscar in points for them to call all right, we're going to favour Lando now. The only argument to that is that he's kind of the only one at the moment that can catch Max, and so Max Verstappen is really the only argument between favouring Lando this early. Well, not this early, but you know what I mean, with this little of a gap in points. So there's a lot of on both sides. I
mean, I disagree with you. Okay. Obviously, I know that Oscar still mathematically can win the championship, but you'd have to literally win all the races, and Max Verstappen will have to literally be out of the points in most of them.
Yeah, there probably isn't enough races left.
Yeah.
They probably should make a decision.
They need, I think it's too late now. I think they've cost Lando the Drivers' Championship. And from Lando's perspective, he's driven for them for 5 years. He's stayed loyal to them. They've finally given him the car that he can win a championship in, and they're just not, they're not allowing him to do it.
It's partly Lando and partly the team.
Yeah.
They've both made more than a few mistakes. Lando's in the fastest car now, and he needs to step up to it. But at the same time, the team has not helped him in the slightest.
No,
they've been sort of a hindrance, probably more often than not.
Yeah, I think at this point they should make a decision. They know that Lando can beat Max if he, I don't know, if he wins a lot more. If they swapped him and Oscar at the end, Lando would have got another few points to catch up Max. It's not the same as Hungary because it's not for the win. Second and third, it's not gonna.
Yeah, at this point in the season, that doesn't mean anything to McLaren.
Exactly.
For points.
Yeah, exactly. So I just think they need to start thinking smart. And if I was Lando, I'd be really kind of annoyed right now and thinking, why have I stuck with this team if they're just not really gonna help me? And he was obviously told in Hungary by his engineer, told by someone else, you're not going to be able to win a championship without your teammates' help. And then they're just not following through with that.
It's weird because it was like weird gaslighting of
Yeah.
him then.
Literally.
And now they're like, oh yeah, race each other. Papaya rules, which has become a bit of a meme.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, what the hell is papaya
Honestly,
rules?
take a shot every time they say
Yeah.
papaya rules. You'll be on the floor. Like, where has this come from? Like, surely it's like a no-brainer. The papaya rules, which just means that you can fight each other and just not crash each other out.
Clean.
You just don't need to say. You don't need to be like papaya rule. Like, it's just not. It's just unnecessary.
It's quite funny.
But yeah, I'd be, as I said, I'd be fuming if I was Lando.
So I think to put it down in simple terms, if this was Mercedes, the gap would be probably about 20 points between Hamilton or Russell, but probably Hamilton and Max right now.
Yeah.
They would be basically level.
Yeah.
Like, because they would have taken the opportunities. So it is like McLaren should be winning this.
Yeah.
Like, should be by far favourites now because they've been the fastest car. Probably, and if they carry on to the end of the season, they would have been the fastest car for the majority of the season.
Yeah,
so
I
if
agree.
they don't win, then that's going to go down as a massive failure.
Well, I think they're going to win the constructors. I think they are because the consistent
Perez,
the consistent results from both the McLaren boys. It's just they're going to win. But I just think they have thrown away the drivers' championship.
Yeah, I agree.
think it's as simple as
if
that.
I had to, put money on it now, I would say Verstappen wins.
Definitely.
There's a lot of races to go, but he's going to keep getting consistent points.
Mm-hmm. But Zach Brown is insistent, whenever he's interviewed, he's insistent on saying, we don't have a number one driver. He even brings it up when no one says to him, oh yeah, if anyone didn't say to him, Lando's your number one driver, he would still bring it up and be like, no, we don't have number one driver. Like, someone interviewed him before the race and was like, so Lando's on pole, like, do you think that gives you a good go for the race? And he was like, well, we've got two number one drivers in the front row, and like he brought up the fact that they're both number one drivers. So I mean, it's just,
so from him it makes the most sense because his job to manage the relationships with the drivers and with them, with each other.
Yeah.
So from him, it's like, all right, he's got to play the mind games and do everything he can to keep them both happy. And a good set of mind. But yeah, from like us watching it, it's like, oh, come on, man. Like,
yeah,
they're being diplomatic, but
it's clear. Like a lot of the times they're like, oh no, we don't have a number one driver.
Yeah.
But then it's obvious that they do because they favour the driver that's gonna get them higher in the championship. But it's like they don't have a number one driver. McLaren don't. They haven't. Like,
no.
I think we're at the point I think at the beginning, fair enough, say that. But once you get to the point where one of your drivers could win the world championship and they have a good chance, they have the car, they have a good chance, you should then kind of...
Yeah, well, that's what Mercedes
help
did.
them.
Like, at the start of every season, Hamilton and Bottas, they were treated equally. And you can argue whether that is completely true or not, but that's kind of the narrative they sent out. And obviously, Lewis ended up being their number one driver.
Yeah.
Every season because he's the better driver. But once it becomes clear that one driver is picking up more points, as you say, just go back them every time. So, all right, we're backing you to win the championship. Oscar, help your teammate.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll have your time. This is your second season.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Obviously, you want to win a world championship on merit. You want to win, you want to win from winning and beating your teammate every single time. But that's just not how F1's been. It's always there's always team orders involved. There's always help from your teammate. Like when Perez held Hamilton up.
Yeah.
In 2021, which helped Max.
That obviously was the last race, and then
but still, he got help from his teammate.
Yes.
It's there's always been kind of the teammate helps the other teammate if there's a chance for them to win the world championship.
Yeah, and I feel like they need to find a way to kind of tell Oscar, you'll have your time, you're just going to get quicker as a driver once you get more experience. But look at this data, all in all, Lando's quicker than you. He's head in points. Let's back him this season. If we win the constructors, you're still going to be a winner.
Yeah.
Like, let's go for this.
Yeah.
And I guess it's different when you're such an elite sports person. You just want to win yourself. And that mentality is so hard to get out of. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I feel like that would be the way to do it
Yeah, definitely.
for me. But
Yeah, I think obviously from Oscar's overtake, I think he's a bit more aggressive than Lando, I guess, in his driving. Like he's like very assertive and was like, I'm here to win.
yeah, it's great. I like it.
Which is good, a good trait from a driver. But yeah, I think if McLaren want to win stuff, they should be more assertive with their drivers. And it was kind of a bit sad at the end. They got 2-3. Obviously, they should have won. One of them should have won. Simple as that.
They're both very disappointed.
Yeah, they were just like really disappointed, not really speaking much in like the driver's room, in their interviews. Yeah, in the interviews, they were just like really like downbeat and stuff. And it's like imagine this last season. If you'd got a 2-3, you would have been over the moon. But yeah, they should have got P1
easily. But just going back to the Zach Brown interview stuff and all that stuff, this is the kind of time where I'm very grateful to have someone like Nico Rosberg.
Yeah, I love him. Analyst and he's so good. Yeah, he's so upfront. He's so like, no, I want the answer to this question. He asks the
questions that everyone else is afraid to.
Yeah,
and they're not even that hard hitting. It's like, come on, no, what are papaya rules? Should you not have a lead driver? Like, you need to be doing this.
Yeah,
and it's like no one else is gonna say that. No. People are like, do you think? And he's just like, nah. Yeah. This is journalism.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously Nico Rosberg is a great person to ask that question because he's been in a situation where they didn't pick a lead driver that year. And there's obviously, it wasn't...
Well, more than 1 year.
Well, yeah, and it wasn't great for the team.
Yeah, and he retired as soon as he won.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm out.
Which is fair. I actually have a question for you. It's really unrelated to the race, but I was thinking about it the other day. I was thinking about Nico and the fact that he won his championship and he retired. And then there's obviously people like Alonso, where he's won championships. He's now in a car that's not doing great. What would you prefer? Would you prefer to retire at the peak of your career or retire when you know that you're just not at your peak anymore?
I think the story is better if you retire on top.
Yeah.
But for someone that's so competitive and so like elite in their sport, that almost never happens.
Yeah.
Because they never realise when they're not in their peak. And they always have that drive to want to keep going. And it's like that's such a competitive mentality.
Yeah.
It's like you look at like Tom Brady. He retired and then just came straight back because it's like they don't know how to not compete.
Yeah.
So
I suppose it's the fulfillment thing. You might retire at your peak and be like, actually, was that my peak?
Exactly.
I don't know.
It's so hard to recognise that.
Yeah.
Especially with that mentality that you need to have, like the killer instinct, you know.
Yeah.
So like, narratively, retiring on top is probably better. But it's the unknown that probably gets them right.
Like, who knows if Nico could have won more championships? But he was satisfied with what he got, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely could have.
Yeah.
But I think.
But if he had, maybe he wouldn't be asking these hard hitting questions that we want to know right now.
But beating Lewis Hamilton once was enough to like take everything out of him.
Yeah.
So, right, let's get back to the race because I think we've only sort of covered the start at the moment.
Yeah. And McLaren.
So I mean, for a while, that middle section, there wasn't a lot that went on.
No.
Just sort of pit stops and then a couple of slow stops. I think Oscar had like a slightly slow stop.
I think that was Lando.
I thought Oscar did too.
Oh, maybe they both did. Maybe they did.
George Russell had lost 2 seconds in his pit stop.
Max Verstappen.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm trying to think of what else happened. There was a couple of penalties. So, going to go back to the start. Ricciardo caused a collision. Mm-hmm. That was reckless.
With Hülkenberg.
And then got another penalty because his mechanics just touched his car out of instinct.
God. Yeah, he was literally, he touched it and he was like, oh.
Yeah.
And hoped that they wouldn't see, but obviously they see.
Yeah. Let's see.
Sonoda DNF'd because he had
crashed into.
Was that up by Hülkenberg?
It might have been. It's one of the Hasses, yeah.
Yeah. Kevin Magnussen crashed into Pierre Gasly. Reckless driving, they said, gave him 2 penalty points, and now he has a race ban.
Does he?
Did you not know that?
I thought he was close.
No.
Oh.
He's now he was on 10. He got 2 penalty points from that.
Oh,
And now he's got a race ban
jeez.
for Baku.
Wow. I wonder what the last time that happened was.
Yeah, I know.
Probably like,
I know.
not for like sort of,
I don't know.
10 years of it. I don't know.
I don't think they've had penalty points for that long. This might, I don't know. Is this the first time it's happened?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Have to
But yeah,
check
I'm
that.
surprised you didn't know that. Yeah, he's got a
No, I
race
didn't
ban.
see that, no.
So they're probably going to put Ollie Bannon in the car. I don't know if that's been confirmed yet, but he's obviously driving for Haas next year, so it makes sense too.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
K-Mag out in Baku.
Wow.
There you go.
What else?
Oh, I don't know.
No, yeah, I mean, Russell got Perez.
Yeah.
I think it's more a reflection on abilities than anything.
Yeah, true.
But Red Bull, yeah, 6th and 8th, so losing out quite heavily there to McLaren. Probably not as heavily as they should have. Because, was it like, if they came 1-2, then McLaren would be equal in points, I think they were saying.
Yes. I think if they got the fastest lap as well.
Yeah, which they did.
Yeah,
anyway,
which they did.
But
But Red Bull had a problem with their engine where they couldn't have 100% power. There was like a power problem with their engine.
I see. Yeah, Max was not happy.
He was not. He was like, yeah, we basically need to change the whole car, which is fair. Perez still finished 17 seconds behind Max. So it still showed the difference between them, even though they finished 6th and 8th. Yeah, Hamilton, P5. He seemed disappointed. Oh, did you hear what he said? He seemed
He said a few things. Cause
yeah.
he said, oh, maybe they'll have more, like, a better performance from Kimi or something.
Yeah, that made me really sad. I was like, you're a 7-time world champion.
Yeah, they were like, oh, they need someone that's more reliable. Maybe they'll get that with Kimi or something like that. But I don't know. I don't think he's performed that badly, to be honest.
No, I don't either.
But and then he also was talking about the McLarens. He said, "Oh, I was hearing their lap times, and they were going way too fast and burning through their tires. Like they should have slowed down, gone for the one stop, and like he properly analysed it."
Well, no, he's right.
Yeah.
They should have. Why were they pushing so hard? Like they're the fastest car on track.
I know.
They don't need to push so hard. They should have nursed their tires. That car is good at nursing their tires if they treat them right. And yeah, they really screwed up there. The engineers should have got on and been like, slow down. Obviously, they're behind each other as well. Oscar and Lando are behind each other. They can play the team orders rule. They can say what they want to happen, and yeah, they have to follow the rule. Well, according to whatever, they have to follow the rules.
Yeah.
Whether they do or not is another story. But I don't know why they cooked their tires so quickly and
Because
so
they went
much.
for the two-star, that's why.
Yeah, well, they shouldn't
But
have.
Hamilton, was basically just giving them advice.
I love that.
Yeah.
He obviously knows. He
Yeah.
knows. Colapinto, is that his name? Sorry, sorry if that's wrong.
I think it is.
Yeah.
He came 12th, I think.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Good race.
Yeah.
Good race
fair
from
enough.
him. First race.
Even if he is paying for his race seat.
Yeah.
But
No, wow.
is what it is.
But
Take your
yeah,
opportunities.
he's driven that track in F2. I don't think he's driven any of the other tracks in F2. I think
Right.
he potentially could have driven a few of them, but yeah, next race will be a bit more kind of
punishing.
yeah, I suppose, because he's not driven it before in F2.
Loads of people crashing back here.
Yeah, exactly. It will be more showing about his abilities,
Like
but
Leclerc. That's where the I am stupid
yeah.
comes from.
Well, at Castle, other Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think there's much else really to say apart from obviously the difference in strategies which we've gone over, and Leclerc ultimately managing very well and taking the victory, which is very nice to see. Because for a bit I was like, oh yeah, it'd be great if Oscar could catch him, and I was like, wait a minute, no, it'd be really nice for the fans and like to see like just because it's nice to see when someone's really happy to win.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh yes, we get to hear the Italian national anthem again, and that is the best rendition I've ever heard of it. Everyone's singing along.
It's so
the team jumping up and down.
It's like that's one, like you look at that on TV and you're like, I would love to be there. I'd love to be holding that Ferrari flag in the crowd. And I love the fact that the podium is kind of half in the paddock and half over the grid, because it means like the fans are kind of more involved in it.
They just set off flares, which means you couldn't see them.
Yeah, you couldn't see it, but they're excited. It's fine.
Yeah.
I loved the fact that Charles won. I thought it was brilliant.
It's great. Best national anthem.
Yeah. And obviously, if you're Italian, Ferrari is kind of like part of your life.
Yeah.
That's just,
Pretty
I
much.
feel like we don't have that kind of same thing here in the UK because obviously McLaren is British. It's not really, it's Kiwi, but
No, when they're British brands.
British brand, yeah. But
British team.
but because a lot of teams are based here and
Aston Martin's English.
yeah, okay,
British,
Aston Martin's, yeah. But a lot of teams are based here. There's a lot of British drivers in different teams. It's like, yeah, it's not the same. Whereas Italians and Ferrari are kind of intertwined. They're like come as a pair, you know.
Yeah.
So it was great to see a Ferrari driver.
See.
Exactly, and just the crowd at the end, amazing.
Yeah.
I saw someone
So
compare
good.
it to like the president, like speaking at the White House with the crowd there to to Monza, and yeah, made it look like there was more people at Monza.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's all I think I can really say about the race. So, predictions, review.
Yep.
Review our predictions.
so I actually think,
I think you did well on this one, didn't you?
yeah, I actually think these are the best
You
predictions I've
smashed
done.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So qualifying, I put P3 Charles, P2 Oscar, and P1 Lando, pole position Lando. So I got 2 out of 3 there, Lando and Oscar. Charles almost got P3, but he was pipped by George at the end of qualifying.
That's right. Yeah. So qualifying, I said P3 George, P2 Norris, and P1 Leclerc. So like I got 2 right in there, but I didn't get Norris in the right place.
No, yeah.
And then Oscar came second,
Yeah, so I got first and second.
and I got third.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, put us together.
Actually, you know,
Got full
we
set.
did all right there.
We did. And then for the race, I seem to remember you saying something to me, keep on dreaming, when I told you my predictions for the race.
Yeah, but who would have thought with Ferrari how they've been?
I know.
And they're usually strong here because I guess they design their car for low downforce tracks
Yeah.
and it's their own race and everything like
Yeah.
that. But I wouldn't. With McLaren how they are, Red Bull usually quicker than Ferrari these days. Mercedes usually are.
Yeah.
I just couldn't
Didn't
foresee
expect
it. No.
Well, I think Ferrari bought 9 upgrades. 9 upgrades this race. And I think they've made their car a bit better at nursing their tyres a bit more. So, yeah, definitely helps
Definitely
them.
paid off.
So, for the race, I put P3 Lewis Hamilton, which obviously didn't happen.
No.
But
Quite.
no. P2 Lando Norris. And P1 Charles Leclerc. I didn't get Lando right. Lando obviously came P3.
Yeah, okay. But
But
you got the most impressive one.
yep, I predicted Charles Leclerc to win, and he did.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Brilliant. Well done.
Thank you.
I said P3 Oscar Piastri,
Okay.
which is correct.
No.
No, it's not. P2. Yeah. P2 Max Verstappen. Nah.
Nowhere near.
Surprisingly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's just that engine just wasn't.
And P1 Lando Norris, which should have happened. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it should have happened.
Should have, would have, could have, as they always say.
Or at least, well, once Piastri overtook him, he should have just managed it till the end.
Yeah. It's just as simple as McLaren should have won that race,
Yes,
and they threw it away. No, nothing more can be said anymore.
absolutely.
Okay, bold predictions.
Baldy peas.
I did so well on this as well.
Yeah.
Can't lie. So I said Charles will win through Ferrari strategy.
Yeah.
Like I could argue it did kind of fall into their laps a little bit, but also they did win because they offset their strategy and did a one stop. So
I didn't know. I mean, I feel like, getting a safety car at the right time or getting a red flag and then getting a free stop, that's falling into their laps.
Yeah.
They just did a good strategy while McLaren didn't.
yeah,
So, like, they definitely earned it.
definitely. I think obviously they were planning a two stop, but once Charles got the clean air in front of him, he was like, actually, I can manage these. I'm
Yeah.
going to stick till the end.
Got a bit feisty in the radio.
But I
didn't
like, yeah, he did. But I think it was because he was trying to manage his balance on the tyres to stop the degradation. And he was just like, let me just do it, please.
Leave me alone. I know what to do.
Yeah. Right. What was your first one?
Mine are terrible.
Oh, dear.
I said Franco Colapinto will have a crash. He didn't. He actually did all right.
Yeah, he did. He almost crashed in qualifying, but he
Yeah,
did
he
not.
did.
He saved that really well, actually. Impressive.
Yep.
Okay. My second one was both Red Bulls will qualify badly.
Relative.
Yeah. Especially Max.
Yes.
Sergio Perez, I would argue he qualified quite well for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, Max didn't qualify that well. So I'll take half of that, I reckon.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
I said there will be a crash at turn 1 or 2 during the race.
That
No, there wasn't.
well, kinda. I think Daniel Ricciardo, was that not at turn 2?
That wasn't the first chicane, was it?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think it was.
I don't remember.
That was like turn 4.
Okay, well, you should have just said at some point.
Yeah, it's too broad, isn't it?
Yes. And my third one, Alex Albon, points. Mike drop. He was P9. No. Yes. P9.
Yeah, it probably would have been after
P8.
Magnussen's penalty.
P8. Magnussen was P9.
I thought he was P10.
I don't know.
Because he came in a 10th of Alonso
Yes.
for the last points place.
Who came P9? P9 then? Oh yeah, because Perez was P8. Yeah, it was Alex that came P9.
Yeah, that's right.
Perez
okay.
came P8, and Kevin Magnussen P10.
Which actually, after his penalties, are pretty all right result.
Yeah, I
innit?
know. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done to K-Mag.
What was your third one?
Alex Albon points.
Oh yeah. So my third one was there'll be 2 plus safety cars. There wasn't any safety cars.
I don't think we have a safety car for the last 7 races.
Really?
I think it's 7 now. Yeah.
We had DNFs this time.
Yeah.
Was it just one?
I think it was just
Just
Sonoda.
But no safety car.
Nope.
No. Well. So yeah, I did terribly on that.
And I did fantastic.
Yeah, all right. Well done.
Well, I'm convinced I'm slightly psychic. I don't know.
Or you're just good at predicting F1, good at reading the race.
Yeah, well, reading the race or I just get a little feeling, you know. I had a little feeling that Charles would win, and he did.
Knowledge.
Yeah, I just knew that the Tifosi would just make him win. Putting it
There'll
simply.
be some Mercedes Tifosi next year.
Yeah, they will. God, some people will go crazy at that. Charles or Lewis. I don't know how that.
With Antonelli.
Oh, I thought you meant. Sorry, in my head, I thought you meant Lewis swapping to Ferrari.
No.
And so Mercedes fan will become Tifosi.
Oh, I see what you mean.
That's where my brain went. But now I understand what you mean. Yeah, because Kimi's Italian, isn't he?
Certainly is. The name like Antonelli.
Yeah, that would be good. He's so young. It's scary to think the year he was born.
He's 17, isn't he?
Yeah.
God.
I think he's turning 18 this year. He must be, if he's racing in F1 next year.
That's crazy. These kids these days.
He can only just drive a road car.
I wonder if he's even got his license.
I don't know. Yeah, mad.
Crazy.
I'm excited to see how many rookies there are on the grid next season. There's rumours that RB will sign Liam Lawson soon.
They should.
They should.
He deserves it.
But I want Danny Rick to stay, but I have a feeling he won't.
Maybe they'll give him to another team.
I don't know. Not many seats left.
Still a seat in Audi, isn't there?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, next to Hulk.
Saudi.
Sauber,
Audi, I don't know.
Oh. So you're combining the two?
Yeah.
Right, I see.
Anyway, we're waffling now. So
Yeah.
let's wrap it up, shall we?
We said our drivers of the day. We predicted our drivers of the day. I predicted Charles.
I said Lando Norris.
You did. I would argue that
right
Lando
again.
Norris had a big flop in that race.
Yeah.
And I was also correct.
Yeah, Lando did flop.
Yeah, I think Charles was the best driver that day.
I would argue Piastri was the best driver that day.
What?
He just got let down by his team.
Okay.
Would you not say he drove well?
Yeah, I would say he drove well, but I would say that the fact that Charles Leclerc managed to keep his tyres
That's true.
okay until the end of the race means that he was the best driver on the day.
That's true.
I think that he yeah. Because Oscar was like, nah, these tyres won't get me to the end.
Okay, yeah.
That's my case argued.
All right.
Do you agree?
I'll take
or
it.
are you going to stick with Oscar?
Well, whatever.
All right.
I give it, yeah. I mean, but my predictions were terrible anyway, so
Yeah, fair.
whatever, yeah.
Well, they came, whatever we say, Oscar and Charles came P1 and P2, so
It's true.
I suppose they are the best on the day.
Indeed. With that said, let's end it. Let's call it a day. Mm-hmm. Baku up next.
Yep, looking forward
Excited for
to
that.
it.
It's always a good one to watch.
Street race.
But yeah, until then, please, let us know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe, all the good stuff.
Yep.
But yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Until the next time.
Bye.